Today's parable starts with a man going on a journey. He calls his servants to him. Many translations choose the word servant instead of slave, which is an important translation question to consider, but we're going to put that one aside for today. So I'm going to use the word servant today. The master calls his servants and hands them portions of his estate. 5 talents to one, 2 to another, 1 to the last, each amount assigned according to his own ability. So right away, we learn that this isn't a master handing out identical envelopes to strangers. This is someone who has paid attention, who knows these 3 well enough to know what they're capable of doing, and to entrust each one with a portion. But regardless of how many talents each received, even 1 talent was incredibly abundant. A single talent was worth about 20 years of an ordinary laborer's wage. So even the servant who got the least held more than most people in that world would have seen across a lifetime, let alone 40 or 100 years' wages. This isn't a story about scarcity or anyone getting shortchanged, but about a master who trusted all 3 with far more than any of them would have expected. So the sheer abundance of both trust and resources is often a detail that we gloss over in this parable. So the first 2 servants, they go and put what they've been given to work. And when the master returns, he praises them both the same way. Well done, good and faithful servant, even though they returned different amounts, which makes it seem like he's really praising them for acting, for doing something with what they were given. Meanwhile, the 3rd servant does nothing. He digs a hole, buries what he's given, and hands it back exactly as he received it. Master is furious, but not just because I think the money didn't grow, but because of the servant's lack of action. But we hear the explanation is that his actions were based in fear. The servant wasn't lazy, as the master said. He was frozen. His whole confession is, I was afraid. Fear talked him into believing that doing nothing was the safe move. He prioritized protecting and preserving what had been entrusted to him. And yet, in reality, fear convinced him that burying it was protecting it, when really it was still a way of losing it. We have been entrusted with much, not just personally, but as the church. You all have been entrusted with much as United Christian Church. There are many resources that you as a community have inherited and that you each also bring to the table. So I wonder, how is this parable calling us to use the abundant resources that God has entrusted to us? Whether it's the assets of land in a building, or financial resources to invest in others, or gifts of time to share, or skills and talents to contribute, or a story to tell. We were not given these things or entrusted with them to bury them. We weren't given them to protect and preserve them as they are. We were given them by a God who knows us and trusts us to use it, to grow into the image of God, to grow beloved community in the world, to build the world as it should be. It's a risk to use and grow what we have. But God trusts us to take that risk. So doing so is not recklessness, it's faithfulness. It is so challenging for any church, for any community, to be willing and able to keep growing and learning and transforming. And God gives us one another so that we might take that risk together. I could stop there. This is a very traditional interpretation of this passage. Personally, I think it can be a helpful one, a helpful reminder to use what God has given us and not sit on it, as long as we don't literally claim that to those with much, more will be given, and that those with little will lose what they have. But as I dug into this parable, I learned that there are a handful of scholars who have asked whether there's something else happening here. The third servant says to the master's face, "I knew that you are a harsh man, reaping where you did not sow, gathering where you did not scatter." This is a serious accusation. And the master doesn't deny it. He essentially says, "You knew that about me, so you should have put my money with the bankers." He confirms the very thing he's just been accused of and treats it as if it's obvious. Richard Warbach builds a different interpretation on how people in that world actually thought about wealth. In an economy where the pie was seen to be set or a zero-sum situation, getting more wasn't actually admirable. It meant that someone else got less. So Rohrbach argues that an audience of average, mostly poor people hearing this story would not have applauded the two servants who doubled their master's money. They would have seen them as Jerome, an early church father, did. Every rich person is either a thief or the heir of a thief. So under that logic, the third servant is the only honorable one in the house, the only one who refused to take what wasn't his. The master's undenied accusation is also what William Herzog builds an entire rereading on this parable around in his book titled Parables as Subversive Speech. Traditionally, the master in this parable is seen as a symbol for God. But Herzog argues the master isn't God at all, but an aristocrat who grew richer by extracting more from people who had less. The first two servants are his household retainers doing the master's dirty work. And the third servant, the one we've been trained to see as the failure, is actually the hero, a whistleblower who finally says out loud what everyone in the household already knows, that the master's wealth is, in Herzog's words, the profits of exploitation squandered in wasteful excess. He isn't punished, this servant, for failing to profit, but he's punished for telling the truth. This reading of this parable isn't only a modern reading. There's an old forgotten version of this parable that can be found in the Gospel of the Nazarenes, which was preserved by the church historian Eusebius. And it flips the judgment entirely. A wasteful servant is imprisoned, the one who profits is held in suspicion, and the one who hides the money is only rebuked. A long time ago, someone had already heard this story and landed on the third servant as the sympathetic one. Herzog and Rohrbach don't agree on every interpretive detail in this text, but both arguments are built on the actual words of the text and not despite them. Herzog's reading is about one household 2,000 years ago. But every household, whether it's a family or a church or a nation, runs on some account of who its wealth belongs to and what it cost to get it. So it's worth asking that question of the households we sit in today. As we all know, this year marks the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. And I think that's exactly the kind of household worth asking about. An honest answer includes something true and good. This nation has given real gifts to real people: freedom of worship, freedom of speech, a rule of law, abundance beyond what most of history has known, the chance for immigrants and their children to build a life unimaginable elsewhere. 250 years is worth some real gratitude. Like the servants in this parable, we've been entrusted with a great deal. But remember, the gift was not the end point for the servants. What is done with the gift is what matters. Gratitude for it without honest stewardship is really just self-celebration. Being good stewards of the abundance of this nation means being honest about how it was gained and who is still paying the cost. Being good stewards of the story of our country means telling it honestly, not despite our Thanksgiving and celebrations this year, but because of them. Herzog's reading of this parable makes it hard to avoid an honest reality reflected in this story. The master isn't good because the story calls him good, or because he sits at the top of the household. He's just powerful, and power has a way of getting named as goodness, generation after generation. The joy the master offers is real abundance. And in this parable, it can also be seen as exploitation wearing its Sunday best. It would be really easy as a pastor working in the middle of DC to make this parable about one person in particular, a powerful master who wields judgment easily. And I want to resist that temptation. It's too small of a target, and it lets the rest of us off the hook. The situation that Herzog describes is bigger than any elected official. It's the whole system that lets the powerful call their profit the joy of the master, while someone else pays the bill. That doesn't change with an election. Systemic exploitation implicates all of us. Who among us has been a servant or a household retainer, doing well by not asking too many questions? So in gratitude for this country, we tell its story honestly, with all the gifts we already named, and also with what financed the talents this nation was founded with slavery, the displacement and genocide of Native Americans, forced sterilization, land and labor extracted from people who had no power to refuse, the whitewashing of diverse cultures. Stewardship of our story means holding the gift and the cost in the same hand. And yet, this question also has a cost. For who has been pushed to the margins for naming what the joy of the master actually costs someone else? And this parable shows that the cost can be quite high. The third servant broke solidarity with the other household retainers to the moment he spoke up. Truth-telling alone often leads to people being burned out or straight up burned. The church, though, as a community of love, can be a place where telling the truth doesn't have to be done alone. How are we practicing taking that risk of truth-telling together? So we have two readings of our parable today. And at first, they might seem like they're opposites. In the first reading, the traditional reading, faithfulness looks like putting what you've been given to work, refusing to let fear talk you into bearing it and keeping it as is. In the second, faithfulness looks like refusing to play the system's game of exploitation and speaking the truth out loud, refusing to let fear keep you silent. But neither reading is really safe. Both paths are risky, and both refuse to let fear hold us back from faithful action. I think what is condemned in both readings is not failure, not imperfection, but fear dressed up as caution. So I wonder which risk is ours to take right now, using what we have, or stepping away from the system and naming what we see. Earlier in Matthew chapter 11, Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens. My yoke is easy, my burden is light." Jesus isn't offering an escape from labor here. He's offering a different load, one that might make the risk we just named to be survivable instead of crushing. Historically, a standard yoke was not built for one animal to wear alone. It was built for two, so that the load is shared. So when Jesus says, "my yoke," he isn't handing you something to carry by yourself. He's stepping into it with you. And that's what makes it light. Not that it weighs less, but that it's never carried alone. This is the yoke that the third servant didn't have. The yoke Jesus invites us to take refuses isolation by design, and so should the church that claims to wear it. The parables of Jesus were usually teaching about the kingdom of God. Here, the kingdom of God is not the household that the master runs in either reading of this parable. The kingdom of God is the yoke that frees us to risk something real, our resources, our security, our roles, for the sake of a community where all have what they need and have it abundantly. So whatever talent, whatever resources or abilities, whatever truth has been placed in your hands, may fear not hold you back from growing and using what you have. May it not hold you back from naming the truth in front of you. For the faithful thing is taking a risk and taking it yoked together. May it be so.